Hey everybody, it's me, Alex Buriak, Senior Vice President over here at Jet Lending. And today I got Quentin West. Quentin, how you doing today?
Great, Alex. How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I really appreciate you bringing the time out of your busy schedule. I know you just came off of vacation and I know you're super, super busy, but my people that are doing short-term rentals, and for those who don't use that term, Airbnbs or VRBOs, but they're really called short-term rentals, they need people like you. They need companies like yours because what I saw and how you described it, I saw an immense opportunity for these people to utilize people like you and really, really grow their profit margins and their business and their possible acquisitions. So I'm really excited for you to kind of go over what your company does for them and how they can contact you and really see in real time the real progress of what you did for people. So Quentin, kind of take it away, tell them who you are, tell them a little bit about yourself, and figure out how they can do business and if you guys are the right way for them to grow their business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Quentin West. I'm the CEO and founder of Shortcut to Superhost. And over the past 3 years, we've helped over 1,000 hosts in 15 different countries start, optimize, or scale their portfolio. So we've literally helped people that just today figured out about Airbnb, and we've helped people with we actually have a client right now, 180 doors, where we're helping him rebrand, optimize, perfect his pricing, and ultimately generate more revenue for his portfolio. So if you're in the short-term rental space, um, you've probably noticed if you've been in for a few years that things have changed dramatically. 5 years ago, I listed my second property, and I only posted a couple pictures, and the hero photo was a picture of an unmade bed, and it booked within 8 hours. That's how easy it was to compete in the short-term rental space back then, and it's changed dramatically. If you try to do that now, you'll be pushed to the second, third, fourth page, and then ultimately not get booked at all because Airbnb is really prioritizing professional hosts. So the biggest thing that we do and kind of our bread and butter is helping people understand what's important when it comes to marketing, understanding the algorithms, pricing strategy, and ultimately getting them shown to more people. And when they do get more views, they're able to convert those at a higher rate to more bookings and they make more money.
That's fantastic. I mean, I knew there were companies out there that say that they're going to help you do this, that, and the other thing. But what I saw in the event that we spoke at together was absolutely phenomenal. The way that you guys structured everything and how you showed just the simple changes, like when you guys go to shortcut to superhost.com, you can see it. Okay. And what we're going to go is we're going to go show you how this company can help you if you're in this market, what to do to increase your listings, especially as Quentin just said, insurance rates are like quadrupling, property taxes are going up, the way you guys are buying it, everything is structuring differently. So if you can increase your bookings and you can increase your margin, you can continue to stay in business. So Quentin, so give us a little bit of idea of like, how does Shortcut to Superhost really work? I mean, how do you guys manage this thing for people? How do you guys really help people generate more business? I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, so ultimately, we believe in equipping people with the skills that they need to perform at a higher level. So we're not a company like Evolve or Vacasa or any of these other companies that try to really lock you in for life. Our basic level program is a 90-day sprint where we come into your business, we optimize your portfolio from the ground up. That way you can start generating more revenue and get more wins immediately. And then we help you manage your business over the next 90 days and teach you what we did so that you understand exactly how to optimize your portfolio and perform at a high level and generate more revenue. And, not to lock in any revenue claims or things like that, but just historically looking at the past 90 days on our clients' performance, we have generated an additional 18.5% in additional revenue for them within a 90-day period. Now, that's an average number. I'm not saying that you guys will do that if you decide to work with us, but that is our historical numbers. And, it is pretty incredible what you can do with some of these properties that, you wouldn't even think would perform at a super high level, but they've got so much more potential left on the table. We're just not squeezing that lemon hard enough to get all the juice out of it.
I mean, 18%, even if it's an average number, I
Yeah.
mean, you guys, you guys have went to meetings, You guys have helped, find wholesalers. You guys have property managers. But what I'm seeing in the short-term rental space is like, well, I can take pictures and I know how to list it. Guys, I've seen your Facebook posts. You don't understand the algorithm metrics of this type of marketing and how important it is that your property is showcased and your property is booked and your property is seen at a high level because that's where your return comes in. So I'm pretty excited to see some stuff about how you guys kind of operate and give them kind of a short overview of like, how does working with companies like yours really scale them? Like, let's show them some stuff. Let's see what kind of plans out on how these people can utilize this type of service and
Yeah,
really profit.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I'll show a couple of my slides for the people that are watching video, and I'll try to explain in depth for the people that are not. So to start with, the biggest way most people are failing right now is they have poor marketing, they have no pricing strategy. They're either trusting Airbnb smart pricing, or maybe they've got a pricing software, and they're just trusting it blindly to do what it's advertised to do. And unfortunately, a lot more goes into it. Pricing strategy is what really makes a pricing software efficient. And so they end up with low conversions, low bookings, and not making near the money that their property has the potential to make. And so, kind of starting from the top with better marketing, everything dials in to the algorithm. That's what it comes down to. And the algorithm is just a fancy word for how Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, any of these sites track guest behavior with your listing. They're seeing how they react to it. They're looking at how long they spend on your listing, and then they adjust your visibility based on those metrics. Think about it like a trust score. So Airbnb is going to give you views. They're going to trust you with this many views and this much opportunity. And depending on how well you convert those to paying guests, which ultimately makes you money and the platform, they will give you more or less views. So if you have, positive momentum and you're consistently filling your calendar and you're taking full advantage of that opportunity they're giving you, they will give you more opportunity over time. But where people fail is they don't know, one, how to set up their marketing properly, and they don't know how to track their performance properly to see what's actually happening with their views and their conversion rates. And so you end up with a lot of hosts that are performing blindly and listing their property blindly, and then they're underperforming and they have no idea how to fix it. So think about Airbnb's algorithm kind of like a cycle. They're going to trust you with views, then they're going to track your conversion rates. Then they want to see that you get 5-star reviews, and then they're going to give you more or less views based off of that. So looking at a lot of other different things like retention rate. This is how long someone spends on your listing. It shows Airbnb how interesting your property is comparatively to the rest of your competition. Your engagement, how many people are sending inquiries or messages or even giving your property a wish list edition, and then how many views that you're getting over time. Conversion is one of the biggest ones. So, an area where we see people failing the most is their first page search impression rate. A lot of people fail to show up on the front page, which you can think about as the busiest street corner in the city. Like if you have any business where, let's say you've got a lemonade stand, you want to be on that busiest street corner where all the foot traffic is. But people are tucking their listings away in a back alley where there's no traffic. They're getting on that second, third, fourth, fifth page, and ultimately they're not getting seen at all. And so we have two listings right here in the same market. The top one has done a really incredible job at not only taking great photography, but showcasing the best views of their listing in those first 5 photos. If you go on Airbnb right now and you click on a specific listing, these are the first 5 you'll see when you go to the listing. So if these aren't converting people and generating curiosity and wanting them to stay in the property, they're not going to get any further. And so this is where we really focus a lot of time and energy on to make sure that when we get a view, we're not just throwing it away. We're actually getting people to engage with us, click further into our listing, read our description and our amenities and what we have to offer, and ultimately lead them closer to making a booking decision. Another couple tips with retention. So some errors that that we see people making is they have too many repeat photos. So you guys all know that people have really low attention spans now. If you don't show them something that generates their curiosity very quick, then they're going to click off and go to another listing that will. So we've seen beautiful properties that have 8 to 10 photos, at the very front of their listing of their pool, and it's a great area. Like they've got, the fire pit outside and the pool and all these different things. But if you're not showing them anything differently, sometimes even on the most beautiful listings, they'll click off and go somewhere else because they just get bored. They get bored of seeing the same thing. And so this is an area where we see people making mistakes. Also, low quality photos. They have too many photos. You see these listings with over 100 photos. No one is clicking through all of those. And if your best amenities are at the very end, no one is even ever getting to those. So if you're counting on those to help you convert bookings, then you're missing out on a lot of revenue because you're saving those for last. Having paragraphs in your descriptions. Again, this is a retention thing. If people have to read through a paragraph, they're not even gonna look at it. They want short, digestible, scannable pieces of content in your description so they can find what they're looking for and then quickly take action on it and decide to book or click somewhere else. Too many house rules. If you're scaring people away with all your rules in your description, they're going to click somewhere else where they don't feel like the host is going to be bearing down on them the whole time during their stay. Some things that you do want to do. Number one, have your best 5 photos as the first 5. Delete any repeats, delete any pointless photos. So, with our photos, we want to attract people, we want to retain them, or we want to sell them. If you're not attracting people to your listing, keeping them interested, or helping them make a booking decision, you need to throw it out. So if you've got any photos of hallways or entryways or closets or things like that that people really don't care about, unless they're like really showpieces, like where you've got a double staircase or something, just throw them in the trash. Um, and then keeping consistent photo quality. This is another thing that we see decrease conversions and causes people to click off. If they see inconsistency in the listing where you've got like a couple professional photos and then you've got like some thrown in cell phone pictures where everything's grainy and you can hardly tell what's going on, people like consistency. And so if they see that inconsistency, they will click somewhere else where they can rely on the product that they're getting from that host. And then search engine optimization. So, search engine optimization is just a fancy word for keywords that you're using in your description that allow you to match in more search results with potential guests. So, think about these platforms and the algorithm as a guest and listing matching system. They're going to match the perfect guest with the perfect listing as quickly as possible. And the way that they do that is they look at one, the guest's previous booking history. They look at their search history through Google and Facebook and things like that. They know how big their family is and what size group they're traveling with. And then they're going to match their search history with your listing. So if they're a family that has young kids, they may need a crib. And you might have a crib, but you're not putting that amenity on your listing. You won't show up for tens, if not hundreds or thousands of views throughout the year. And every one of those keywords that you're not using, either as an amenity or to describe your property in the description, it could be a massive amount of search results you're not showing up in, which is opportunities that you're missing out on because you're not getting in front of those people. So, one of the biggest ways we increase views, and historically, our views have increased by over 40% in the past 90 days just by implementing one pricing strategy, but also search engine optimization. But the biggest thing that we do is first we go in, figure out what all the amenities are, make sure they're all added to the listing, and then we use those as well as the location to write a search engine optimized description. And for any of Alex's viewers or listeners, I'm going to give away a free course at the end where you guys can go and join that and get access to our AI bot that will write it for you. So we'll make it even easier for you if you guys stay until the end.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, listen, guys, as he goes on this, don't be like, you know what, this is great information. I can do this. If you could have done it, you would have already done it. All right. This is phenomenal information to grow your business. What else you got for us here?
Yeah, absolutely. So next thing is increasing engagement. So we previously talked about this, but one really quick hack that we use to increase our engagement above our competition is we put in a call to action in the listing description. So the one that we like using is contact us for seasonal discounts. Everybody loves a discount. So if we put that in our listing description, even people that may not even be on the edge of booking our property might be curious enough just to send us an inquiry. And the great thing is, even if that person doesn't book with us, it will bump our engagement up in the algorithm, and Airbnb will give us a slight boost in our ranking because they see that we're getting more engagement than the rest of our competition. So this is a way that we quickly get in front of more people and book at a higher conversion over time. And the great thing is, people that were on the edge and may have considered booking your property if it was a little bit cheaper, now you have the opportunity to negotiate with them and you can find a solution or a discount that makes sense for that guest. Maintaining momentum and increasing views. A lot of people think that once you fix your listing, it's ready to go and you never have to touch it again. But the platforms work a lot on momentum, which is why if any of you guys have an Airbnb now and you've ever had a long-term booking for like a couple months, you'll notice your traction's super slow when that person finally checks out. It's because you haven't had a consistent feedback loop with the platform. You haven't had any momentum for several months. So it's really important to be very proactive with your momentum and make sure you stay on top of your data, your competitive pricing, make sure you get good reviews, and if anything's converting at a lower rate, constantly adjusting things so that you can increase one your views, your conversion rates, and your listing to booking rate. All of these things rely around your pricing, your title, your description, and your photo layout. So if you see things dropping off, it's time to make some changes, some tweaks, and it could just be a seasonal thing. If you've got a photo of a pool and you're going into winter, people are no longer looking for a pool. So you're obviously going to convert at a lower rate if you have a pool still in your photo reel. And so it's really important to start swapping those out seasonally if you have photos like that where people would only make a decision to book during the summer. Now, here's a visual difference. So, for those of you listening, we worked with a client that was in a very popular neighborhood in Davenport, Florida. These properties were 14-bedroom homes that slept over 30 people. And the amazing thing about this particular case study is there's over 100 houses in the neighborhood that are exactly the same. And so we found a property that we compared this one to after we got it optimized and we brought in some income and could see what the projections were. And this competitor had the exact same size property, the exact same amenities in the same neighborhood, less than a mile from the house that we optimized. And they're generating an average nightly rate of $437 a night at a 50% occupancy rate. We were able to, after the optimization, get our client Craig to a $552 average nightly rate and a 55% occupancy rate, which from the outside looking in, without running the numbers, doesn't look like that big of a difference. But this is the financial difference. Over the course of a year, Craig is going to make an additional $31,196 than his competition because he's optimized. Again, this is the same home, same amenities, same location. Everything is the same. The only thing that's different is the way that we photograph the property, the way that we marketed it, the search engine optimization, and the pricing strategy. Now, what does this look like on a graph? This is one of our other clients, Jeff. Jeff had been in the business for 15 years. And when we first had a conversation, Jeff was kind of had the attitude of, I've been doing this much longer than you. I don't really know what you're going to teach me. And ultimately, I think I'm very convincing. I talked him into working with us. And at the end of September, we signed a contract. By October, previously, July had been his peak month. By October, we helped him make an additional $12,000 more than what he did in July of that year. And within that 90-day period where we had him under contract, we helped him make $50,000 more in those 3 months than he did the prior year with only 10 units. So this is a massive difference that optimization can make if you use it correctly and you're not already at peak performance in your market. This is another client, Corinne. She was really struggling in Tampa to get her property booked. Uh, Took photos with her cell phone, was a very avid DIYer. She was very confident about her ability and her pricing and everything when we first met. We taught her a couple things, got things optimized for her, and just blew her away with the results. I mean, we got her from I think her best month was like 10 nights booked, and we got her to over 90% occupancy in 30 days, and she made 6 times the amount of revenue that year than she did the year prior. So again, just try to show you guys what the possibilities are. Your situation is going to be different. Your property is going to be different. But if your listing is not optimized, meaning you don't know how to market it correctly, you don't understand the algorithm, you're doing what we call listing and praying. You're just taking a few photos, throwing it up, and praying that it gets booked. Then chances are you've got at least hundreds, if not thousands of dollars that you're leaving on the table every month. So after optimization, our next step is pricing software and strategy, and you have to pair the two together. With only pricing strategy, you're doing way too much manual work and you're going to miss out on opportunities that you wouldn't have caught. And with only pricing software, your software is never going to perform at the level it could if you understood strategy. So, what is pricing strategy? Pricing strategy is a set of rules that you follow to fill your nightly gaps left over from software. And this is just one of our calendars, March of last year, but you can see there's these little colored dots throughout, these colored dates where we've gone in and made adjustments. These are manual adjustments where we've dropped the price 15 to sometimes 30% off. This is us coming in after our software, after we've already set everything up correctly, and we're doing minor adjustments to pick up additional revenue we would have never seen without doing these adjustments. So here's a couple discounting scenarios. Definitely you want to pull this up on video if possible. But the three different scenarios we see are adjacency, gaps, and last minute pricing. So adjacency happens whenever you have a checkout and there's no check-in on that same day. That would be an adjacent night. And so in that case, you want to really dramatically discount that date because someone would have to check in on that exact day in order for it to get booked. They can't book on 2 or 3 days previous and finish their stay through that day. They can only check in on that day. So it's a much harder date to get booked. And then gap dates. Let's say you've got someone checking out on Monday and someone checking in on Thursday. You've got a gap between Monday and Thursday. So you want to discount those dates because again, someone, especially if you have a 2 or 3 night minimum, they have to check in on Monday or Tuesday to be able to fill those dates. They can't check in on Wednesday or Thursday. So it's really important that you discount those dates so that you're able to fill those and appeal to a broader audience. If you're at a higher rate and people are shopping around for those dates, chances are everyone else has availability throughout the week. So you only have a few people in that guest pool is what we call it, or the amount of people that are looking for those exact dates that are left over that are looking for your place. And so one way that we really stand out to those leftover people are discounting those dates in the middle. And then last minute. So on this graph here, this yellow dot would represent today. So let's say it's Friday, your weekend is still available and you want to get it booked. You absolutely want to discount it very dramatically because this is your last chance to get it booked. And anything is better than zero. As long as you're making more money than what it costs to clean the place and turn it over, it all adds to your bottom line at the end of the year, and it adds up over time, especially with multiple units. So this is our discounting scenarios and how much we want to discount the property. So for those of you that are listening in, from 1 to 14 days out, from the day of check-in, we want to be cheaper than our competition. From 15 to 21 days out from our day of check-in, we want to be equal to our competition. And from 22 and on days out, we want to be at least 10% more expensive than our competition. Because typically people that book in advance, that far in advance, they're willing to pay a little bit of a premium. And so that way we can get our place booked and make a little bit of additional money when there's people looking out that far in advance. And here's another chart just showing how we would discount this. So again, the red dates, those are bookings. The blue ones are discounts, and the black line is a past date. So if today is the 4th, and our typical daily rate is $100 a night, and our competition is right around $90 a night, then we're going to drop our rates to $85 a night. That way we're slightly under the rest of our competition, or you may want to be a little bit more dramatic depending on what your goals are, just to fill these dates. If we have a booking over the weekend and we've got a gap between the 7th and the 9th, we're going to drop that rate as well. So we may want to drop that one around $87 since it's a little further out. If we have dates in the middle of the week, since we're under that 14-day window, if the competition is around 95 to $100 a night for these dates, we want to be at $89 or $90. And then on from there, we want to continuously drop our rates until we get up to about the 14 to 21 day window, where we're right around what our competition is booking at or slightly less. And then past that time period, you shouldn't have to do many adjustments. So that's pretty much all I have, Alex. For those of you guys that are watching, you can scan this code, or you can follow the link that Alex places in the chat or in the link below, and feel free to download this free course. Contact me on Instagram to get more information. Alex, do you have any questions, or you feel like I left any gaps that you'd like for me to go through?
Not at all, but I kind of want to reaffirm some of the things that you're saying because that was an immense amount of information, but it was great information. One of the things I said, like in the middle there, is guys, I know you watch this, okay? For a lender, it's easier for me to lend to you more properties when I know that you have strategies in place because I can really help grow your business because I can lend you better, okay? And with your long-term stuff, when you have people like Shortcut to Superhost and Quentin on your team, it actually helps you negotiate even better rates because you have systems in place, okay? After watching all this, I know we talk all the time, guys. I know you guys are like, oh, cool, I'm going to do that. I'm going to throw into, into AI, and I'm going to look up SEO algorithms. Guys, it's not the same, okay? It's especially with you guys with AI. If you guys haven't built a database and things like that, asking AI is very general. It's not the same thing when you guys have systems honed in and things done for you. Okay. So if you could have done it, you would have done it. All right. You have this amazing opportunity to scale your business, to get more money. And what are the 1, 2 things you guys always have to spend? Time or money. When you have systems like this in place, you regain your time because you guys make more an hour than managing this. So not only are you making more money, you're gaining more time that pays you more an hour, that gets you more properties, that makes you more money. Okay? So that's why we do things like this and have these shows and present us these opportunities for you guys to realize what's out there to grow your team and to grow your wealth with the right operations in place. If you guys go to shortcutttosuperhost.com, you will see Quentin and all his YouTube videos, all his videos that were on newscasts, all his testimonials, all these things. You guys are going to see the link to get what he's talking about in this course. You guys got to get with him. At least get with him to let's say, guys, I think I'm doing well. How can you make me better? I'm not doing very well. What am I doing wrong? And getting with a team to make you more successful and more profitable. Quentin, is there anything else you want to tell everybody that's listening about how you guys can do better? How do they get with you guys again? How do they contact everybody? Who do they talk to?
Yeah, so they can fill out an application on shortcut2superhost.com, or they can just find me on Instagram at QDealsHomes and reach out. Whatever questions you have, I'll be happy to answer. But this is, there's a lot of education out there about get started, get in, furnishing, design, credit, all this kind of stuff. Honestly, that is the easy stuff. Anybody can go out and sign a loan and start a property, but to have the discipline to know that you need the skills that are going to make your investment a more intelligent decision, and really put the time and effort to learn that, that's where we really see operators really succeed. Like you were saying, it makes it easier for you to lend. We have a client, I won't mention his name because I don't want to embarrass him if he hears this. But when we met, I'm going to say 7 months ago, he had four properties, very, good market, but the market's more or less stabilizing, and he was very close to losing all of his properties. I mean, that's how badly things got. Very stubborn guy, got very bad before he decided to reach out for help. We came in, helped him optimize things, really fought through the whole process, to be honest with you, because he was pushing back on everything we tried to teach him. Ultimately, he adopted it eventually. And this guy now has doubled his portfolio. He just got featured on TV for the most wish listed property in the entire United States on Airbnb. Special feature. I mean, just the difference that it makes is day and night. Like that, of course, that's one of our poster childs. But when we met, I'll never forget the call. He was in tears on the call because of how much pain he was going through, all because of one decision. And, it brought me back to the reason why I learned all of this. In 2020, I built my portfolio to 47 units and made some bad decisions, didn't understand optimization, and it put me in a whole year of basically hell, the worst year of my life. I had 47 units. A lot of those were arbitrage. I had over 100 creditors a day calling me asking for money, and optimization is what pulled me out of that hole. So if it can do that for, our client, it can do that for me and many others that we've pulled out of pre-foreclosure, uh, you know, divorces, things like that, where, the business was causing so much of a headache in their life. What can it do for you if you're not in that bad of shape? What can it do as far as your projections and your compounding growth over the next 5 to 10 years?
No, absolutely. I mean, if you guys didn't hear what he said, he didn't just make this, he lived this. And he was probably a guy, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, of like, screw this, I'm out. All right. And like, I'm going to dump all these properties. This isn't for me. This isn't work. That's not. And he got to a point to where it was life changing just because there was an operation in place, there was strategy in place. Everything, a lot of times when you start doing this, sometimes you grow faster than you thought you would. And you're like, uh-oh, what do I do now? I mean, you'll see it in the market. People are like, well, I'm going to dump all these short-term rentals. Well, even if you're tired of it, don't you think you would sell them for more if you had this optimization in place with all this revenue generated? And you can hand somebody 12 months of data saying this is how much this property makes and sell your property for higher. But I guarantee you this, if you work with them and that work and that let's say average of 18% revenue increases, you may not be selling those properties anymore.
Yeah.
Now you have options. So Quinn, like, listen, I really tell you guys, I mean, you guys are going to get the links, you're going to get the website, you're going to get the QR code to you guys. If you guys are listening, you guys are going to get that link in there. I'm telling you, it's worth the call. It's worth the link. It's worth the click. It's worth finding out, is this right for me? Because I tell you this, if you have nothing going on, pretty sure that's going to be at least a decent call for you guys to figure out how you can make more money and buy more properties. Quinn, anything else you want to add to us at the very end?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate your time. You have no idea what this man had to go through. He just came off a vacation, but it wasn't a vacation. He still carved out this time to make sure you guys knew that you're not alone, and with the right team, you can make the right kind of money. Quentin, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Alex.